let's get into what people want to talk about, which is this number one recruiting class for LSU in the class of 2025. And the Tigers got big news over the weekend while I was at my brother's wedding, but we had talked about it before that there was a good chance LSU would reel this guy in. And that is Jaboree Antoine, New Iberia Westgate, stand up, the top 50 prospect for the On3 industry ranking and top 20 prospect on On3, committed to LSU over Georgia, Texas, and many others, giving LSU yet another elite prospect in the state of Louisiana and a top flight defensive back for Corey Raymond to kick things off.
It wasn't long ago that I think that some people thought that Texas was going to really give LSU a battle here and that it even could be leaning Texas at some point. I thought that the work done by LSU staff the past couple of months, even before Corey Raymond got here, really set this up. Then you make the hire of Corey Raymond, who is a New Iberia native, just like Antoine, has connects to Westgate, the school. And I'd layer this out in a few ways, Billy. One, in terms of importance. And he said, to finish my thought, Raymond, the hire, was icing on the cake. So the cake had been made. Raymond's the icing on it, served up with the birthday candles the weekend that he commits there and shuts things down. But let's tear this out. Of the most importance, they need corners, elite corners. And you bring Corey Raymond back, you're trying to do that. Jaboree is On3's number 3 corner in the country. So check that box. You're trying to lock up Louisiana. He's the number 2 player in the state. And I'll tie it in here with he goes to Westgate. That's where Derek Williams went. He leaves number 1 safety in the country, goes to Texas. Danny Lewis was a tight end they chased right when Kelly got here. He left, went to Bama. They signed Demarion Johnson this past cycle. Now they've got Jaboree Antoine committed. And then my third part here, Billy, would be the greater Acadiana area, if you're including kind of everywhere in this stretch. Getting Dominic McKinley flipped from Texas A&M to LSU, an Acadiana kid, the number 1 player in the state. Now getting a guy like Antoine out of Westgate the next year. It feels like, yes, there had been times when North Louisiana guys had left. Yes, there had been times some New Orleans guys had left to play at Bama even. But Lafayette, New Iberia, all that surrounding Acadiana area was not somewhere other schools were getting into and taking guys. It happened with a couple of guys, like I mentioned, but now it feels like to me with Antoine and McKinley that it's like, okay, they now have their grips back on the entire stretch there. That's not a place other teams are really going to be able to get into.